Yo, what is up guys, this is Twister and today I'm back with another video, and in this one I wanted to discuss whether or not the new car, the Hijack Ruston, is actually as bad as everyone seems to think it is, because I've been seeing a load of mixed opinions on this car. Some people actually really like it, but a lot of the stuff I'm seeing is so negative. People are actually really upset with this car for some reason. So I actually wanted to discuss it with you guys in this video. I didn't get time to do like the normal or standard showcase videos that I like to do when new cars come out, so I thought I'd try and talk about it in a little bit more detail in this video for those of you guys that wanted to see a video from me actually covering this new car. We'll go through it in this video, and while a lot of people do seem to think this new car is total shit, I'm going to start this video by saying I actually really do like this new car. The Hijack Ruston is actually, to me, a very fun sports car. For a new sports car, it is extremely fun to drive, and it is one of the most unique, at least, sports cars in the game as well. And for also a standard non-Benny's car, it's also got a lot of good customization. The actual modifications that you can choose actually change how the car looks a lot, rather than just changing small details that you wouldn't necessarily notice like on most cars. The customization does actually contribute a lot to how you actually want the car to look, so I'll put some clips in of me actually going through the customization of this car while you're watching this video, because I bought it last night just to try it out for myself, because I saw so much negative stuff about this and I actually wanted to decide for myself whether or not I actually thought this car was awful or it was actually pretty decent, and I actually ended up liking it quite a bit. And for a new sports car, the price of it is pretty decent as well. It's only 430k, which compared to a lot of the other overpriced stuff in the game, I don't think is too bad either. So a lot of that stuff considered, I'm actually quite a big fan of this car, but obviously there's one thing that I haven't mentioned, and that's the performance of it. The performance of this car, admittedly, is pretty terrible, I'm not going to lie, but that's all people seem to be putting this car down to anyway, is its lap time performance, because I'm sure you'll have seen the testing video from Bruffy1322. I think it placed 30th within his testing, the 30th fastest sports car with whatever lap time it got, but that's all people seem to be putting the car down to, is its lap time performance. And because its lap time performance wasn't that great, a lot of people just completely disregard it and think, what a shit car, I'm not buying that because of its time that it got in this testing video. Which is fair enough, I can understand why people would think that way. If people don't always have as much money as I do to spend in GT Online, they don't want to buy every single new car if they don't think it's going to be worth it for them. But over time it just seems like we've got to this point where in order for a new car to be actually good in the game and for people to like it, it has to have a really good lap time performance. It has to be a quick car, and a lot of people get that information from Bruffy's testing videos, which is fair enough. But I'd just like to reminisce for a second back to the good old days of GTA, when literally any new car added to the game, people really loved it, because, well, I guess it helps that we got top tier performing cars anyway, like the Zentorno, Turismo, Jester, Masako, like some of the very early cars in the game. But literally any new car in GT Online, people just love the idea of having new cars, and everyone just used the cars that they liked, the cars that they thought were good, and that just seems to have faded away a bit. I just like to think that if this new car, if the Hijack Ruston was added to the game, like let's say 2 years ago, everyone would love it. But as it is, it was only added yesterday, and for some reason it was given the downforce stat, and I'll touch on this just for a second. The downforce that it gets means it doesn't get the traction added that you would get when you add a spoiler to the car in Los Santos Customs, and the downforce that it gets instead is really low and doesn't really benefit the car like a spoiler would do. And 2 years ago that wouldn't have been a thing, a downforce wasn't in the game, it would have just had that normal spoiler traction bonus, and it would be a top-end sports car in terms of performance. But right now in the game, it's not a top-tier performing sports car, which is what a lot of people care about right now. But not every new car can be the new fastest car in the game, or the new fastest car in its class. And I know there's a difference between people wanting a new car to be the fastest car in its class and a new car actually being usable in races, which a lot of people seem to think this car isn't. And again, I know this thing is based off of a Vuelo 5, which is meant to be a track car, it's meant to have good performance, it's meant to be super lightweight, agile and lightning fast around the corners, which it isn't. It has a lot of understeer if you haven't actually tried it out in game, and that is definitely its main weakness when it comes to performance. It's handling the understeer, because of the downforce that it gets. Just really doesn't benefit the car at all, really. It doesn't have much traction. It just suffers so much when it comes to handling. So for me, that's only really one aspect of the car that I find pretty poor, but that's just the conclusion that a lot of people seem to come to. 30th place in the sports car class, pretty trash, right? Well, here's the thing about that kind of testing. I think I can pretty much quote it from Broughy. That's testing in a controlled environment made specifically to minimize variables. But the thing is, as soon as you actually go into a race in GT Online, a public race, well, it's not a controlled environment and there are variables. So that kind of testing for car performance isn't as cut and dry as soon as you actually take it into a race in GT Online with randoms, especially in stunt races as well. Stunt races are completely different to actual like lap time testing videos. I keep using Broughy as an example, but it doesn't have to be his testing videos. I'm sure there are many people that want to find out and showcase lap time performance for a new car, and I also fell victim to this. When the Lynx came out, I went straight into a lap time performance comparison between the Lynx and the Massacro. The Lynx was much slower, so I just straight away came to the conclusion it's a piece of shit car, don't buy it, just based off of that, or pretty much just based off of that lap time comparison. And you might think that that is a little bit contradictory to what I'm saying now, the fact that all I seem to care about from that video was the lap time performance, but I guess a little bit was the extortionate price as well. I still don't know what Rockstar were thinking about with the Lynx, the fact that it is 1.7 million, so you would expect to get at least a top tier sports car for that price, but you didn't. And maybe that's also why I seem to like the Ruston that much. Obviously the Ruston's nowhere near as expensive, but my expectation of the Ruston was, well, literally nothing, because I already heard about this low downforce value beforehand. I already heard it was pretty trash, didn't have any expectations of it, but when I actually bought it and tried it for myself, I did really like it. And the same applies to the Lynx. If you like the look of it, if you like the way it drives, you like the feel of it, and you're able to look past the 1.7 million price tag, then the Lynx isn't a total shit car for you, but that's just something you have to figure out yourself in-game rather than being told it in a video, if this makes sense. And actually, while we're on the subject of the Lynx, even though I thought that the car was absolutely trash at the time, for 1.7 million especially, awful performance when I tested it, I thought it was awful, but then going on to actually try it out in a few stunt races at that time, I actually came to realise that it wasn't as terrible as I thought it was from that initial lap time comparison test, because in stunt races that really does not matter as much. And then on top of that, I still think the Lynx is one of the nicest looking sports cars, even though I did then go on to sell the Lynx after a while because I wanted a bit of that 1.7 mil back to buy some other cars that I wanted to fill up my 60 car garage. But anyway, that's besides the point. Just that the Lynx wasn't complete trash like I thought it was at first, like I just quickly jumped to the conclusion based off of the lap time that I got with the car when comparing it to the Massacro. So it doesn't always have to just be about racing performance when it comes to new cars in GTA. And I think my little shift in perspective from that is actually why I like the Ruston quite a bit more than most people seem to do. So this has probably been a really weird video listening through this, especially when all I really usually do is buy a new car, showcase the upgrades, and there you go, we're done for the video on a new car. So this one's actually been a little bit more in-depth. Maybe we've actually gone too deep, since we are, let's be honest, we are just talking about cars in GTA, so I think we might have got a little bit more deep than we needed to do. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on the new Ruston. Fun car, I like it. I didn't just completely disregard it based off of its lap time performance. I gave it a chance, and I'm glad I did so. Maybe some of you guys will do the same. Maybe some of you guys did do the same, and some of you guys either hated it still, or you actually really liked it like I do. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on this video. Leave a like rating if you have enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Follow me on Twitter, it's @iTwister. Join the Discord server, it's always linked down in the description below. And with all that said, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will hopefully see you all in my next one. See you later, guys.